Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity with me, Bring It Down. Let's speak to Leak. The hero of the hour. He laughs. Efric sent you down to check on us. We aren't causing trouble, on my word. Who are you? Leak. He raises his mug. Humble fisherman. Though with the ogre's coming down all the time, well, I'd sooner fish for truth down a bottle for the time being. What are you playing? Dozens. Care to test your luck? Each of us puts down 50 pans. 3 wins and you take the 100. You can explain the rules if you like. What are the rules? It's simple enough. Winner takes all. We roll 3 dice each. Get 3 4s, and that's the dozen. Beats all the other rolls. Roll anything else that sums to 12. That's the towers. Second best. You roll any other triples. That's a godhammer. You get a pair. That's witnesses. 1, 2, and 3 is the saint. That's the lowest. Any other roll is a talkers. Doesn't amount to anything, so you roll the dice again. You get it? Just to gray that out. I'll play. Leak reaches forward to gather up his dice. Right, here we go. Coins on the table. Pay the 50. I'll let you go first since you're new. Leak chuckles. Roll the dice. You cast the dice. 1, 2, 4. Talkers. You cast the dice. 1, 1, 3. Witnesses, value 3. Leak rolls the dice. Witnesses, value 6. Ha! My witnesses beat your witnesses. Looks like I win. Leak reaches forward to gather up his dice. Ready? Roll the dice. Cast the dice. 2, 5, 6. Talkers. Roll the dice. You cast the dice. 2, 2, 4. Witnesses, value 4. Your turn. Team Leak rolls his dice. 2, 3, 6. Talkers. Team Leak grumbles and picks up his dice again. Team Leak rolls the dice. 1, 2, 3. The saint. Darn. Your witnesses beat the saint. The round's yours. Team Leak reaches forward to gather up his dice. Even so far. Go on then. I wonder if I should boost my perception before we do this. There's always a chance he's going to cheat. Roll the dice. You cast the dice. 1, 3, 3. Witnesses, value 1. Your turn. Team League rolls the dice. 4, 4, 5. Witnesses, value 5. Okay, so I've read that before. Gather up the dice again. Alright, this is it now. You go first. Roll the dice. We got a value of 3. Witnesses. You got talkers. You got talkers again. And you got the saint. I wonder if this is actually randomized or not. Darn. Your witnesses beats the saint. The round's yours. Alright, he's gonna gather the dice again. Even so far. Go on then. Roll the dice. Got a value of 4 with the witnesses. You got witnesses, value 3. And the round's mine. Hey! Well done. The game's yours. Prize 2. Here you are. Don't get too smug now. I'll best you next time. I was expecting him to cheat. What can I do for you, Ogre Slayer? Fancy roll of the dice? Odd place for a game. Is it? Efric doesn't like me making a ruckus upstairs, so I get the cellar to myself if I don't go digging in his stores. Yeah, good luck. All those traps over there. That's a fair bargain, right lads? We have our fun.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get the pot in the center, because I think that was 300. Let Hefric know if you're hungry. Speak to Andred first. Hey there. Good timing. You watch me trounce Spirit Wind. Alcohol and sharp objects. This won't end well. Once Andred. He won once. You're playing games. What about the ogre attack? What? We won, didn't we? That is, you won, really. We just lived through it. We're not risking the roads just yet. The ogre's still out there. So we're stuck here. Might as well play, right? Like we lost anybody we know. Andred. What are you playing? Orland's Head. Andred grins sheepishly. That's what they call it, anyhow. Smooth. You pick a target, see? Nose or ears. Nose is worth more. You've got 2 ears to work with. You get less points the further out from the target you get. So for the mouth and eyes, no points if you miss. Fancy a game? 3 throws each. Whoever gets the most points by the end of it wins the wager. I'll put down 50 pans, if you will. Can you explain the targets again? Sure. I just got this memorized. Nose is worth 10 points, mouth and eyes 5. Ears are worth 7, furs 2, and bear skins 1. That's a little tasteless. Hey, I didn't name it. Don't take it so serious. Not like we're using a real Orlan. I don't see an Orlan-specific dialogue. Surprised. Sure, let's play. Andrew pulls a throwing knife from his belt, turning it over in his hands. Wages 50 pans. You in? Let's play. Welcome to Let's Play. With me, bring it on. Good man. I'll go first, just to show you how it's done. Andrew aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the nose, scoring 10. Andrew walks up to retrieve the knife. Your turn. Let's aim for the nose. The knife hits the ear, scoring 7. Andrew aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the mouth, scoring 5. He walks up, retrieves the knife. Your turn. Aim for the nose again. Knife hits the skin, scoring 1. Andrew aims carefully and throws his blade. Knife hits the ear, scoring 7. Once again, my turn. I'm just gonna keep aiming for the nose. Knife hits the fur, scoring 2. That's 10 for you and 22 for me. The game is mine. The coin 2. Andrew snickers. Going back if you want to try again. I do want to try again. I have a better strategy this time. Ah, it's our ogre-slaying friend. Have they crowned you the king of Stalwart yet? My friend doesn't mean to be a jerk, sir. It just comes natural. What? I want a crown. Let's play Orland's Head. Right. Alright, so I'm not going to read it this time. I'm going to aim for the ears every time. Alright, so he has 5. I have 2. He got 10, of course. Wow. Alright. Oh, my dexterity is abysmal. Do I have a way to boost that? Who has significant dexterity boost? +2. It's a little better. I don't think... I'm assuming there's a hidden check that we're not seeing, and probably dexterity. And that's not going to make much of a difference. We're cutting our losses for now. There's a good resting bonus for dexterity here. We'll take that and try that again. What do you think, stranger? I think I'm getting better. I think so too. I speak to Fira.
Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Fira raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches you here, her hands are wrapped in wool. It's hard to say. Wool, and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has the taut, wind-beaten look of someone who's recently come from the road.
As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
She takes a drink, and she tilts her head back, see a bruise purpling her jaw, a crimson bloom of scraped knuckles. What exactly happened to you?
Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. We picked up a good haul, too.
She takes a slow swallow of her beer.
So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us. Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little four-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
She shakes her head, staring at the embers in the fire pit.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran. Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
She laughs bitterly. At least you made it.
Wish I could say the same for Francesca and Liam. Wish I could have taken her finds with me, too.
She shakes her head.
I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition.
Apprehension creeps into her expression. She stares into her mug, swirling its contents.
But you've got your own expedition to the battery, don't you? While you're out there, maybe you could look for my goods. Whatever's left of them.
She looks up from her mug, hopeful.
I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
She brushes her nails along the side of her mug as that anxious look returns. Tell me what you're looking for.
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
Renengild told me that another expedition came through before I arrived. Was that you?
Who?
She looks momentarily confused.
No, that would have been somebody else. We didn't meet with Renengild, or anyone else in town for that matter. We were operating on our own.
She looks into the fire pit, taking another drink. Why are these relics so important to you?
We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back.
She scratches the back of her neck. Remind me where I can find your caravan.
What's left of it should be near Durgan's battery. If you stumble across the Lagufoth, you'll know you're close.
What do you know about Durgan's battery?
Just that it's been locked up tight for 200 years on account of those dwarves having a row.
She shrugs.
Which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more of a businesswoman than a historian.
Goodbye. Let me try something real quick. +1. +2. What is my base? 10. I don't think I have anything that adds +3 perception, do I? Oh, hello there.
You find anything? Like I said,
I'm gonna start doing this
we
more
were
often
treasure
as well.
hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
I'm gonna try and... If it's a conversation I think I can return to, I'll try to swap out my gear to pass the check. Examine her teeth. Sphera talks. You notice that her teeth and gums are stained with dark spots. Why is that relevant? And we'll keep this on hand. So, those away.
Yeah.
Nice. I think the only other person to talk to is the barkeep. Efric himself. Please take your time.
Never seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here, just drinking to forget it.
The dwarf surveys the crowd, his expression sober despite the half-empty flagon by his hand. He shakes his head and looks to you, remembering himself.
But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word, and I'll give that shifty little Orlin the boot.
He nods at you with gruff camaraderie. What Orlin?
Showed up a few days ago, sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber pot.
He squints toward the hall as if daring the Orlan to show himself.
Up to no good, I tell ya. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want a ruckus over it.
What makes you so sure he's trouble?
We get our share of lowlifes coming through here. Smugglers, fugitives, Kith looking to avoid the sharp eye of the law. Way he's keeping to himself, well, honest Kith sure don't have cause for it.
I could talk to him.
I'd appreciate it. And I suppose I don't need to remind you that I don't want you to hurt him. I'm sure you can find a more discreet way of handling the problem.
He gives you a meaningful look.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
I'd like a room.
Top quality bear pelts on every bed. You won't be disappointed.
I +2 to dexterity. Oh, +2 to dexterity, might, and constitution. Alright, I've got a plan. A lot going on. Guess neither do I. Let's go and rest up. Okay. And then, where's that dexterity boosting item? I think it was his, wasn't it? Alright, that's 14 dexterity. Let's give it another shot. I was gonna beat this guy. Got the money for it. So he has 7. I've got 5. He has 10. Alright. I don't think I'm gonna beat this guy. Well, it was worth a shot. Let's go speak to the Orlan. Maybe it's not dexterity. Maybe it's another stat check. Perception, maybe? I feel bad bursting in here with my whole party to intimidate this guy.
Not to be rude, but I'm rather busy. Can't you get another room?
The Orlan turns and glances past you with a quick, nervous motion. His ears, shredded and scalloped at the edges, are pressed against his skull. This one hides something. His mind is a maze of fear. Hefrick sent me to check on you. He thinks you're up to something.
He... what? Oh no. No.
He runs his claws through his hair and tugs at his long, ragged ears. Can't imagine why he'd think a thing like that.
Is she there? Did you see her?
He leans around you, peering at the doorway. Who are you talking about?
Devala. That woman. The slaver, she...
He swallows.
I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I ran away. Made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Devala's one of the best.
His hands tremble as he picks at his worn tunic. Perhaps we should tell someone. Stalwart wouldn't stand for this.
Slavery may be illegal here, but I wouldn't be the first runaway to get nabbed in a town like this, while some local trapper gets a nice payday. Besides, you spoke with Havrick. I've kept him myself and paid on time, and he assumes the worst. I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haomar.
New Haomar. It's hardly an improve. He stops himself, eyes wide. I mean, it's lovely. You'll love it.
But the locals talk about a Raid Saren party, camped west of town.
He worries at a ragged shirt sleeve.
It's got to be Devala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
I'll do it.
Thank you. But be careful. She wouldn't have come alone.
Alright, I think that's everybody in here. Let's go turn in this alcohol to the guy outside.
Please tell me you found it. I've got a craving like you wouldn't believe.
Under lock and key is an understatement.
Wait, really? You did it! Oh, thank you! This is going to be great. And here's the money I promised.
I think 100 copper is worth what Aleph and Grievous Mother had to go through. He looks down at the label.
To the Lord of Cadnua.
Rayfald raises the bottle and takes a long drink.
Oh, that's gods, that's a bit strange. Here, have.
Rayfald coughs. The bout of coughing overtakes his words. Rayfald?
Oh, it's foul. I think that's the worst thing I've ever... Wait, I don't feel so well.
Rayfald wipes his mouth with the back of his hand.
Did you see that? See, I think my tummy is going numb. Wait, I can't feel my face. What's happening?
Are you okay? Rayfald paws at his cheeks, and then his nose, with increasing desperation. A flailing finger catches him in the eye, and he yelps and covers his face clumsily with both hands.
I can't. I think I bit my... But I can't feel a thing. This has to be Havrick's doing. He must have put something in the bottle. Please, you have to help me.
If this is a trick, Havrick's bound to have an antidote.
Sweet gods, I hope so. Please, I'll give you the money I saved up. I'll give you more. Please, just help me.
Alright, let's go speak to Havrick. I'm assuming we'll have to do the quest with the Orlan first. But maybe not.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
Safety in numbers, right? What are you looking for? And I said I'd like to hire some help.
Back
Figure out
to
all this
warm your
dialogue
hands,
real quick.
eh? What can I do for you?
Let me see what refreshments you've got. Aleph leans in and whispers. Are you sure, Donald? I saw a fish head floating in the stew pot.
Nothing like a pint to take the chill off. Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
Rayfald ran afoul of a certain bottle of liquor.
So that little bastard finally got up the nerve to snatch it, did he? Well, serves him right. Maybe he'll think twice about stealing a man's vintage now that he's dribbling all over himself.
How long will the effects last?
You'd think I'd chance poisoning him with something I plucked off a bush? I made the stuff myself. It's not gonna wear off until I make an antidote.
Havrick snorts. You'd really leave him like that?
You wouldn't. Rayfall's a schemer. If he'd ask someone to steal for him, then you can imagine what else he gets up to.
He pauses to eye you briefly. Even so, I like to help him.
Yeah, I bet he's ballin'. Look, I dabble in chemicals, but it's never something I can't fix. He's only a few ingredients from a cure.
Havrick waves a hand dismissively.
You want to help him out, all you need is a river reed in the heart of an ice troll. You ought to find both by water. That creek out west, for instance.
Wait, the heart of a what?
You heard me. Ice troll. Really, Rayfall's getting off easy. Those traps cost me a fortune. Back to warm your hands, eh?
Okay, well, let's do that. A couple things out west. All the tavern quests are taking us out west anyway.
You have to help me. Ugh, I can't stay like this.
Rayfald sniffs. I'm working on it.
Oh, thank the gods. I'll, wait here and hope nobody comes by to talk.
Okay, where to next? Let's go to Tina's house. Tina? Tina? However you want to say it. Good old T's house.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed. My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Yes?
They gone? Have those nasty brutes finally left?
Bronze Abaddon statuette. Many households in Durgan's Battery had a statuette of Abaddon that was cast in the White Forge. The original was made by a renowned Aptapo sculptor.
Aye?
Be cautious. Be constant.
These teeth have been sanded smooth in preparation for carving.
Eyes open.
I heard the ogres outside, tearing down walls and murdering folk. Don't remember how things got this bad.
The elderly woman needs her hands. Her knuckles are swollen knobs, and her palms are ridged with calluses that scrape and rasp as she rubs them together.
But you're the new adventurer. Renengild's latest volunteer.
She squints at you, leaning precariously forward on her wobbling legs.
She said you don't suffer nonsense. Bet you'd whip those layabouts at the mine into shape.
She sniffs and gives you a swift nod. That's the third, I think, rational option that's popped up since we've shown up in the White March. So I'm glad I'm being rewarded for my disposition. I'd like to ask you about something.
Did you say something, dear?
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I was the overseer at the mine, back when it was running. Got shut down decades ago when we couldn't sell or ship the stuff. But I still remember plenty about the mining business. And I got as many folk as I can digging out the entrance.
She taps her head, a spotted dome under a thinning thatch of hair.
Been praying to the salty wench that I don't forget too much afore they finish the job.
She winks. But that's all.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Nidus is no joke.
Shh.
Alright, so Therisk is the hunter we need to speak to. He's gonna have a lot to say. We'll save him for another time. The shop will probably have plenty to read and look at, so I'm gonna hold off on that for right now as well.
Sure.
Ha, that's what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere.
I think we're gonna hold off on speaking to her as well. Her name rings a bell. I'll find it. Without your help. Not giving up. You hear me? Bunch of people down here. Alright, let's speak to Ista.
Oh, it's working! Yes! I can't believe it! It's really... Oh.
The Dwarven woman looks at you, a disappointed expression on her face. In her hands is a large rectangular box, covered in strange dials and symbols. What's working?
My ore locating divination tool. Well, that's what it will be. I have to calibrate it. Right now it seems to think you're a copper deposit. My Animancer contacts did suggest that a particular strong soul essence might interfere. I'm more interested in minerals in any case.
She studies you. Maybe I do have a strong soul.
I suppose that's possible. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, unfortunately.
She smiles. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to recreate the instruments that first led the Pargrin dwarves to this mountain. This is my latest prototype.
He holds up the metallic box.
Centuries ago, dwarves carrying tools just like this one followed their readings to what is now the battery. If I can recreate their work, then I may be able to find ore deposits elsewhere. I was hoping to test it, but my arrival was delayed by word of the ogre attack. I haven't been able to find anyone to venture up the mountain since.
I should demand payment. I'll do it if you'll pay me for it.
Oh, of course! A real field test is worth the investment. I just have to adjust the device.
Her hands move swiftly over the box, adjusting knobs and dials.
It should point you toward metal deposits. We already know the battery rests on some rich veins, but I was hoping to get a reading of the surrounding mountainside. If you can follow the readings to ore and bring back a sample, I can use it to refine the device. Thanks ever so much for this.
She hands you the box.
I hope you've had some luck. And do take care with that device. It has a few rather delicate components.
Farewell. I do appreciate all the voice
Sure.
acting that they have in this expansion. Let's take a look at the ore locating device. Now, this is Ista's ore locating divination tool, or so she calls it. It's covered in an impressive number of knobs and symbols. You aren't entirely convinced they all do anything. Alright, let's speak to Okrun. A dwarf paces with his head down and arms crossed, only stopping to hurl glances at the building behind him. His face is smeared dark with grime, and soot falls from his beard as he mumbles to himself. Work my hands into bloody stumps in this place. And for what? He kicks at a mound of dirty snow. Start with nothing, leave with less. He extends his arms out. Now, the attack of the ogres has hurt everyone. Hurt. The dwarf hunches his shoulders as if saddled with weight. He looks around to the passing villagers. Don't mistake me for one of them. I carry more on my back than tinder and pelts. Well, good riddance. Should have never settled here in the first place. Some things you mean to leave behind. I'm gonna find out you packed them anyway. I'm not leaving until I recover what's mine. They can't deny me again. Not after this. Okrun gestures at the burnout buildings. The sweet-tongued priest took my heirlooms. Bury the memory of my past, they said. Now I don't have even that. What priests? Only ones here. I occupied the temple some time ago, thinking of desperate folk like vultures. Those priests, Andra's dogs, said the goddess would forgive, that some things are best left to be forgotten. He nods towards the nearby temple. Their leader, Lofta, I believed her words. Another one of them, a gift bearer, took my medallion. He closes his stocky hand into a fist. Now they won't tell me where it is. Why won't they tell you? Because they think they know better, that's why. Said it was the only way I'd forget. What did you want to forget about your past? That was a different life. Better days. Until Okrun closes his eyes and shakes his head. Motes of soot fall onto his hunched shoulders. It's my burden to bear, not yours. I thought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were all the wrong ones. What else did you give the priests? The dwarf casts a measuring look at you. He quickly turns his head away and nods. You'd understand its value. My armor. A set finer than I'd ever seen. But worthless to an old dwarf. I'd have traded it for the medallion. The fool that I was, I gave them both. Maybe there's something I can do. Not the kind of talk that I've grown used to in these last few years, I admit. The priests may pretend otherwise. The folks here tend to look only after themselves. I'd be surprised if they return it willingly. They believe it's a sacred duty to cast the offerings to the goddess in some place where they'll be forgotten. But to find where they drop them, I think. What's Lofta's role in all of this? He leads that group of crows. They took over the temple as folks started to leave. Came to unburden those that sought to forget their misery here, they say. Tell me about this medallion you want to recover. It belonged to my sister. It was just a pretty trinket to her. To me. The dwarf casts his gaze down. She was the last of my family. At least it still acted like family to me. Alright, goodbye. I don't expect luck to grace me now. But if you find anything, I'll be here. Count on it. Gives you a vigorous nod. Okay. I guess we'll speak to Lofta in the next one. We have to speak to her for another quest anyway. Then we'll speak to Manea. And we still have a few more buildings to go through. Keep knocking out the odds and ends in the village before we head west first, I think. That's where the tavern quest directed us. the cure for Rayfold and Defala, the slaver. But for now, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next one.